Hey guys, good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to another episode. I know I've been gone for, I don't think I've been gone that long. I think Thursday was my last stream. Been out on vacation, but now I'm back and I hope everybody's doing good. I know my portfolio came back looking really, really strong. I hope everybody's portfolio is looking pretty strong. And I hope everybody had a great weekend. So overall, right now, though, the market is starting a bit iffy. I would say, right, we have the Dow down 0.55%. We have Nasdaq pretty much flat, and we have the S&P 500 down 0.3%. What's going on, Ben Perez? How's it going? Let's go BYDDDY. I know that's one of Q's favorite right now. So nice, congratulations. We definitely seen a lot of stocks kind of moving right now pre-market. I mean, not pre-market. During the market opens. We can see a lot of the big players are pretty much flat. Unfortunately, my Nvidia is down a bit right now. What's going on, Danny Gordon? Hi, Jose. How's your holidays? Holidays were pretty good. This was also my birthday kind of weekend, so it was super exciting. It was great to kind of take off some deserved rest, in my opinion. But now time to go back super strong in this YouTube stuff. So it was pretty fun. Right now, we do see Netflix, Tesla are up right now 2%. I definitely want to take a quick look at what's happening there. Semiconductor market is still it's a bit red today. Nvidia, AMD are down. We also see some of the banks up. But everything else seems to be on the red. Happy belated. Thank you, Maggie. Appreciate it. It was definitely a fun time. And just got to enjoy and relax. If I take a quick look at CNBC, the first thing I see is Dow slips on about 150 points. Thank you, Gordon. And thank you guys for the support, all three of you guys, Danny, Gordon, Maggie. Appreciate the support of being members. So right now, investors are kind of worried about the Delta impact, right? That's definitely something affecting the stock market right now. A lot of news coming on. I feel like every day we're hearing something about it. So I can definitely see why investors are a bit worried. I don't think we have any crazy earnings this week. Actually, today I'm actually pretty interested. UiPath is one. If you guys are not familiar, UiPath is one with the automation robots. They have earnings this week. We also have Coupa, another, I believe, software company, and Slack. So some some decent players still in the software. I'm not familiar with who this kind of logo is. But then tomorrow, Wednesday, Kathy Wood is buying UiPath, right, Gordon? She has been buying UiPath for quite a while. One of her favorite plays, it seems like right now. It doesn't seem crazy. I mean, I can see the future growth. I think the only real question about it is the current valuation. Tomorrow, we do have Genius Sports. With my overall bullishness in companies like PaySafe because of the iGamification world with DraftKings, I can kind of see Genius Sports kind of doing pretty interesting tomorrow. I don't have it in my portfolio, but Genius Sports is one I wouldn't mind keeping an eye out. On Wednesday after close, we have Lululemon. I'm not sure if any of you guys are into it. GameStop is also on Wednesday. We also have Sentinel One coming out on Wednesday, which Gordon mentioned. It is a crowd competitor. And then on Thursday, what do we have on Thursday? Thursday we have Zscaler coming out. Sumo Logic still this week seems to be a very heavy week in software stocks. We have Zscaler, and then Friday we have a few Chinese stocks, but I do believe we are coming to the end of earnings seasons right now. Let's see if there's anything majorly impacting stock prices right now. Kim Kardashian's cryptocurrency Instagram ad sparks criticism. All right, that's pretty interesting. Dow slips. Like we mentioned, right, one of the biggest players right now is just the uncertainty of the Delta variant. But we did have some some pretty good moves in my overall stock portfolio. So we can see right now what is up big today. So Spotify is up a nice amount. Chinese stocks are also up, right? We have PDD up 6%. We have Tencent up 6%. Gravity, even though it's not a Chinese company, more of Southeastern Asian, but Gravity is also up 4.9%. Spotify is also up 4.3%. Spotify, this was a buy for me 2 weeks ago, I believe. I did or this past not this week, I want to say last Saturday, so August 20 something. I've talked about Spotify. It's actually doing pretty well. I'm happy I mentioned it. We also have companies like Huya, another Chinese company. Tesla right now up 3.1%. I gotta see what's the news on Tesla. I haven't really seen. DraftKings is also doing good. I want to take a quick look at C Limited. There have been talks that they are expanding into Poland. So I want to see what C Limited is up to right there. So what's going on? Danny, SoFi is killing it right now. Let's see SoFi stock price. So SoFi stock right now, stock price. Why isn't it coming out? Come on, SoFi. All right, I guess I'll just use this. So SoFi right now, what are we sitting at in SoFi? $15.95. Definitely kind of bounced off that. It's crazy, right? I mean, to some extent, technicals help to some extent just to see, but we can see it bounced off that value. That 14 level seems to be a very, very strong support numerous times for SoFi. Right now it's at 1596. Can't express, your spot call was amazing. Can't express enough. You spot on. Get it? Got it. Nice one, Gordon. Thank you, Danny. And that's why, right? Some of these stocks I like, right? And this is why my portfolio sometimes has a decent precision portfolio size. I get to see which ones are kind of sitting at some attractive levels, and I can kind of focus on them when things go bad. So Greystone, what's going on? Greystone, gambling casino stocks doing well, possibly due to football. That could be definitely a thing, right? Greystone. Another thing is one of the a lot of new states are kind of entering into the gambling casino, are approving online casinos. So that's also another way. I know we've kind of I think Florida was one that recently happened in August. I think it was Arizona or New Mexico. I forget. It was one of those states in the kind of Midwestern side that has also recently approved kind of online sports betting. So I can definitely see why gambling stocks are seeing kind of growth right now. Feel like companies I already know are about my best place, and that's the best thing, right, Danny? Definitely companies we are familiar with are the ones that move, that in my opinion are the ones we should really keep an eye out, because we understand how they go, and if stock prices drop, we won't really freak out. Ben, I mean, I think sometimes dollar cost averaging isn't the worst case. You mentioned you got into SoFi at all-time highs. First thing is, take it as a learning experience, right? We have to learn, hey, some of these stocks a bit overextended might mean risk is a little bit higher. I'm pretty sure we can learn from stuff like that and use it for future buying opportunities, and see how maybe next year we see a lot of other stocks kind of overextended. So sometimes we might be dummies, like you say, but at the end of the day, it could just be used as a kind of experience, and as long as we learn from it, it could help out. Gordon, I just watched your video on Autodesk. Thank you. I think Autodesk is one that it's not in my portfolio, but I do believe the auto 3D market is the 3D modeling market is still very, very early stages, especially as we are kind of going more into that VR AR market, and that will be, I believe, a big player in the future. Autodesk has taken a huge hit. This is one definitely on my watch list right now, Gordon. Danny, we all make mistakes. It's in the heart of passion, Van. Agree. Lewis, I think BX is a buy. BX, I don't think I'm familiar with that one. Blackstone Inc. Is this one the one you're talking about, Luis? BX. Blackstone, not familiar. I do want to say this stock price right now is a bit overextended. That doesn't mean it's gonna come down. It just tells me, hey, Jose, there's a little bit more risk with this stock right now. But we can see for the past year or so, this has been trending. I'm honestly surprised we are in September already. This is crazy. I mean, this year flew by. Gordon, hope it can go lower. The earnings are good, but investors, I do believe that's what's happening right now, Gordon, right? We have investors they want more than just meeting expectations. Autodesk met expectations on next quarter's revenue, met expectations on full year revenue support. So I can see why. I mean, I don't understand why the major drop, except that investors are expecting much more. Earnings, yeah. So Elias, what's going on, Elias? I'm holding myself to not buy Palantir now. Always learning, buying volatile stocks. What's going on with Palantir? I know that one has been very, very popular. It's really sits around that mid low levels, low level 20s, around $26.52 right now. So definitely a bit overextended from its short-term moving average, but this is one that's very, very volatile. And I don't follow this one, Elias, but I get a lot of bullish case from this. So even at these levels, I can see a lot of bullish investors just dollar cost average over time. Danny, Autodesk look cool, might look more into it, but I would like to go into lower levels to those strong support levels. For sure, right? Sometimes, right now is definitely that time to keep an eye on Autodesk. Hey, Jose, can you have a look on CMBM? Let's take a look at CMBM. Cambius Networks Corporation. So let's take a quick look at that. Then we'll go back. And guys, feel free to post if you guys want me to look at any stocks right now. Ben Perez, I've been waiting for SE to go down a little bit, but slowly buy more. But man, yeah, SE. Actually, before this, Adam, I want to take a quick look at C Limited. I know they just mentioned something about Poland. I just want to take a quick look at it. So she sees Shopee to debut in Europe with Poland launch. This is crazy. I think this is the first European launch for Shopee. So it's preparing to launch in Poland, and it's currently recruiting sellers. Two company sources with the knowledge of matters told Reuters. The move will be the first expansion into European e-commerce for the $190 billion e-commerce company. Shopee is preparing to launch in India as well last week after aggressively expanding into Latin America. I do want to say though, maybe too much expansion too fast could really hurt. I would say this in the upcoming earnings, if they are expanding, they are going to have to be giving a lot of incentive to customers and to sellers. So I do believe we are going to start seeing, why am I not seeing stock prices? What's going on with you, Google? Stock price. Like, come on, yo. What is going on? So C Limited is up $358. It's up 1.5% right now. So I do want to say all this expansion at the same time could really affect the company's bottom line numbers in the short term of things. So I believe maybe some investors might not like it, and maybe in the upcoming quarters, it could give investors a bit of buying opportunity if they see a lot bigger losses than normally expected because of this overall expansion. I want to take, so Shopee is preparing India. We did mention that. The firm is already a dominant player in the e-commerce in Southeast Asia. We saw that already. Polish news website first reported the Shopee expansion into Poland. C has not immediately answered to this for comment. Amazon launched its local website this year, while the biggest home e-commerce firm Allegro is ramping up installation of its own parcel lockers. So we can see, right, there is definitely going to be some form of competition for C Limited here in Poland. We already have Amazon there that launched last year. They also have Allegro, which is the current firm there. So pretty interesting. I do want to take a quick look at App Annie right now. Let's see. I want to see how Google Play. Let's take a quick look at Poland. How, if I don't know if Garena is there, and it's actually not. So this is gonna be an interesting play for sure, because all these other expansions that C Limited has kind of been going into has been with where Garena has been a leading player there. But here we can see in Google Play, Poland category overall, I don't see Free Fire here. So this might be interesting for them to try to grab that growth, because normally they really use that kind of movement from their Free Fire platform game to kind of get more users into the platform. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see the growth here. Let me see, maybe in iOS, is iOS a bit different in Poland? Is Poland pretty iOS movement? And let's just see. No, it's not even there as well. So this is definitely going to be an interesting take for sure, when it comes to takes for C Limited here in Poland. So what are your thoughts here, guys? Are you guys a bit worried that C is kind of expanding into Poland, even though its Free Fire Garena is nowhere to be found, even in the games? This is definitely something to keep an eye out. Maybe they should be thinking about releasing the game first, to just kind of grab some users for free. So let's see. What else do we have? Luis, do you think Blackstone is at a 52-week high for sure. We saw that. Not too. I'm not liking. I did not like it in forms of technicals. I don't really follow Blackstone too much. Kendo, Indie is looking good. It's been climbing up for me. Indie is a semiconductor, right? Company, Kendo. I think someone mentioned it in a post earlier on. What else do we have, Danny? I keep watching videos on C and it just looks amazing, but at all-time highs, it ain't my thing. Danny, agree, right? I 100% agree. If I didn't have a position in C limited right now, this would not be the time where I would enter a big position, but because I have fractional trading, but because I have free trading, I wouldn't mind increasing due dollar cost average on C limited. But can you share some views on BP, Maggie? Yes, we are. Because you do support the channel, I'm gonna jump into yours first with BP, and then I'll take a quick look at CMBM. Gordon, their e-commerce Shopee is losing money. Agree, right, Gordon? So that's definitely a thing. C limited this exposure to Poland. Very, very interesting for sure. But I'm probably not my happiest exposure at the moment. Kendo, yes, it's a semiconductor for vehicles. Oh, that's why. I do believe someone mentioned they wanted me to compare Sorens to Indie. So I had to do a little bit closer look on that one, Kendo. David Becker, what's going on, David? I'm glad you are back. Thank you for having me back, man. It's only been a few days. I think I streamed every day on my vacation except last week. I think I didn't do Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But just taking that nice vacation off. But now I'm back at it. What's going on, Pilot? Pilot, good morning. How's it going? Gordon, it's actually a good thing that they expand into other markets. So yeah, C limited right now, like I mentioned, up 1.4% on that news of this is expanding into Poland. I was about to ask about Indie. Guess we are all watching the same channels. Man, what channels has been talking about Indie? I have to watch that channel. So we'll take a quick look at my thoughts of Blackberry. Then Pilot asks about Indie as well, so we can definitely jump into there as well. So Blackberry, let's start with Blackberry. Right now, I know I don't follow Blackberry too much, Maggie, but let me just share my overall thoughts of what I know. Blackberry at the moment. Ganesh, I'm looking to open position and see should I dollar cost average or lump sum. Ganesh, for my overall taste right now, excuse me, guys. I personally, and I could be 100% wrong, I do believe C limited is a bit overextended, so I wouldn't mind dollar cost averaging at these levels. For C limited with that overextension, I personally wouldn't enjoy a lump sum amount, but that's just my thoughts. Maybe someone else might have some other thoughts. But for me, C limited right now is a strong company, but one at a heavy price right now. Dollar cost average is my way to go. Greystone, Mr. Fire Up Wealth talked about Indie. Okay, nice. I've definitely heard about him, but like I said, I don't follow many YouTubers out here. I've held Kindy since I heard what the target was when it was a SPAC, then averaged down after it dipped into the 8s. Nice candle, so I'm guessing that one's doing pretty good. But Maggie, let's take a quick look at Blackberry. So first, in forms of technicals, stock price is not overextended, so it's sitting at very attractive levels. Have you already discussed MD? It has a good leadership, interesting for many reasons. Still small, could be a good 5-year hold. Pilot, I think I might have talked about it for a few, but I can't remember. I talk about so many stocks. But Blackberry, first technicals, not overextended. So I want to say a good portion of the risk has been eliminated. Let's take a quick look at this company's, I want to say fundamentals real quick. Nope, not Best Buy. What? Blackberry. So in forms, whoa, something is different here. I'm actually not a fan of the new outlook they have, but let's see, future growth. This company is currently not profitable. They are positive in cash flow from operations, so that's okay. First thing we know, Blackberry is positive in cash flow from operations. They are expected to grow 13.9% on average for the next 2 to 5 years, right, Maggie? So not a slow grower, not a fast grower. I want to say a decent grower, one with positive cash flow from operations. I definitely would want their financial health to be super strong, and they have about $750 million in debt, about $700 million in cash and short-term investments. In all honesty, I wish their debt was a bit lower because they are only positive in cash flow from operations. It's not the worst debt balance sheet. I wish it was a little bit stronger. At the moment, not in forms of fundamentals, nothing is really screaming for me something I really want to get into. But this is more of understanding the business. If the business they're in is something you're super excited about, Maggie, that's a whole different story. Technicals, not the worst, not the best, not overextended. Fundamentals, decent grower, decent balance sheet, positive in cash flow from operations. If we take a look at Y charts real quick, I just want to take a quick look at, let's see, right now, price to sales ratio for Blackberry in the past 3 years. Right now, it's definitely spiked up. It was a meme stock that kind of took some of those higher jumps earlier on. It is a bit more expensive than it was in 2020, so something to keep in mind out. Is this a different company compared to 2020? Pretty high right now, but a lot lower than where it's at. Again, nothing is really screaming a buy for me, Maggie, but at the same time, no crazy red flags either. So it's one that's just kind of neutral in my opinion. So Ganesh, thanks. Luis, Shopee and Amazon all need credit cards to execute orders. Wouldn't Visa and MasterCard be a better buy? The only thing is they are already expanded, at least most likely they have already expanded into those markets, right? So I don't think it would increase too much the market exposure for like Visa and MasterCard, in my opinion. The other thing is, I do want to say in countries like Europe and Latin America where they are expanding, one market that I want to say, one fintech market is the e-cash solutions. That's one I'm very bullish with all this stuff, because a lot of these companies are not, for example, in Latin America, credit card exposure, banking is still pretty low, but they do a lot of online ordering due to e-cash solutions. That's why I do enjoy some companies like PaySafe right now due to that process of the market right now. So let's see. So Pilot, you mentioned Indie. So I don't think I've looked at this one too much. Let's see. Indie is called Indie stock. All right, so we have looked at it in the past. So Indie Semiconductor, it is a super small market cap, $1.47 billion. It is up 5.32% right now, so it's definitely having a good day. They are, like I forget who it was, Indie Semiconductor. Let's just do search Google Play. Indie Semiconductor. They are acquiring a company pretty soon, Teraxion, but they are empowering the auto tech revolution. So I want to see some of their solutions. So they do things for like autonomous driving. They do stuff for connectivity. They do stuff for user experience and electrification. So these are definitely all markets that are growing, in my opinion, right now as the world is moving. We are definitely moving into autonomous driving. I still believe we're very far behind. We're very far into that, maybe at least another 5+ years. But I do think a lot of big companies are already focusing on this, so they need the products already. So autonomous driving is pretty good. We also see connectivity, right? I mean, we want to have this kind of smart cars. So I definitely see this pretty good with smart cities. That connectivity market is also pretty impressive too. The electrification, I do believe this is the one where the closest into kind of moving into that EV market. So Indie right now, in forms of value solutions, they do, I want to say, affect a good portion of the market right now. Let me take a quick look at this company in forms of, I definitely believe we've talked about it in the past. I want to say right now, with the 5% up, this stock price is definitely a bit overextended right now. Sitting at 11.16. I do believe a better price point, or if one was bullish in this company, that $10 price point, $10, $10.25 is a very decent levels. Obviously, that strong support at the $8.40 if we ever get into those levels. If we ever get to those $8 levels, guys, remind me, just send me a message. That's something I wouldn't mind keeping an eye out. Let me take a quick look at their investors presentation. This is a very early company. I want to see what their they are recent news of August 31 that they are acquiring this company. Let's see. I want to see investors presentation, company overview. I just want to see. So they do have some huge tier 1 players: Audi, Tesla, Mercedes, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Volkswagen. They are scaling. We saw the products that they are in. Shipping CarPlay solutions, infotainment, LED lightings. Definitely a market to be interested. Global automatic semiconductor is expanding. All right, we're getting into the smart vehicles. Smart vehicles, we need a lot more semiconductors. Unfortunately, with shortage, I do want to say some of these small companies kind of get the bottom end of the stick, so that might not kind of help around the overall growth. But I want to see financial numbers right now. Let's see, do we have any financial numbers? Maybe here in the come on. So the stock is Indie, right? Indie Semiconductor. So Indie Semiconductors, let's start off with future growth. There doesn't seem to be much about this company right now. I don't know if Simply Wall Street is just kind of lagging on me at the moment. It does seem like it is lagging. This company reports some beta feature. The company reports contains. All right, so overall, definitely a company I wouldn't mind keeping my eyes on. But at the moment, I think I might just hold down on semiconductor companies. But very, very interesting. Kendo, let's see, Luis Shopee. Ben, what do you think about AGC SPAC merging with Grab? I haven't really followed it too much, Ben. Maggie, awesome, thanks. Gordon, Body is down 7%. Body has definitely taken quite a hit recently. It's sitting around that $7. I really wonder what's happening with this stock. I can definitely see the growth within the AI fitness industry. I'm guessing investors are just worried that things. This is weird, right? It's kind of opposite. You would expect right now investors are worried about Delta variants, right? So you would expect a company like Beachbody that does a lot of online gymming and stuff like that to actually be doing pretty well. But unfortunately, this company in the past month is down 18.24% year to date from its 52-week high. The stock is down about 55%. So definitely something to keep an eye out. Last time I remember when I first looked at Body, it didn't look half bad. So it might be time to kind of look at it. Sometimes a lot of buying opportunities are given in some of these pre-SPAC plays. Even though this is already a post-SPAC, on some of these SPAC plays, we kind of get some form of buying opportunity. Let's take a quick look at how the market is doing right now. We definitely see Activision. Activision is down 3.1%. I would say Activision right now is looking at attractive levels. If one wants to think about Activisions, now I want to say it's time to look at Mohammed, would you add to see here? Thanks. So Mohammed, at the moment, I'm not adding anytime soon. Right? It's already a big position in my portfolio. If it wasn't a big position in my portfolio, Mohammed, right now would be times where I would dollar cost average. Not open a big position, more like dollar cost average over time. We have Tattoo Chef. Tattoo Chef saw a huge run up in the past few days. It's kind of pulled back 3%. Twilio almost made my list of stocks that I was going to buy. These 4 stocks I did this morning. Twilio almost made that list, but it didn't. But now it's up down 2.74%. Might be an interesting one to keep an eye out, guys. We have CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike a bit overextended right now. They had some strong earnings. I am bullish in CrowdStrike, but I do want to say right now it might be a time. I'd rather wait for some pull down. Greystone, I was looking at video game stocks as possible swing into Christmas time. Pretty interesting for sure, Greystone. I do believe some investors might already look at that sometimes. So even though they might have great earnings in the during Christmas times and holiday seasons, some of the stuff is already priced in. I do want to say Activision is definitely sitting at some attractive levels compared to. Let's take actually a quick look. Let's look at maybe EV to EBITDA forward for EA Games, and let's also take a look at Activision. I just want to compare the two. Maybe Take-Two Interactive. So right now, Electronic Arts and Activision, even though stock prices look a bit different, right? We see EA Games is really sitting at those high levels, and Activision's is kind of pulled back a nice amount. If we take a look at forward EV to EBITDA ratio, Activision is actually and EA Games are actually sitting at closer levels. This is actually pretty interesting for sure. But one thing I do want to say, Activision is normally more expensive than EA Games. So this can be saying that, hey, EA Games might be, that Activision might be a bit cheap right now. So definitely something to keep an eye out. I do want to say At 15.21 EV to EBITDA forward, Activision does not look half bad at the moment. Take-Two Interactive is a bit expensive compared to all the other ones, but they normally seem to be the most expensive. So Take-Two and EA are definitely good. El Salvador legalized Bitcoin and currency lost 5%. Not good omen. That is insane. Wait, which one? Bitcoin? Because El Salvador uses the US dollars pilot. But let's see. Was it Bitcoin price that went down? So yes, it did. Is that what you mean? Because I know El Salvador uses the US dollar as one of their main currencies at the moment. But we can see, right, Bitcoin definitely took a huge hit, a huge down price after recent stuff. We also see some other players in there. Ethereum is also down. A bit. I mean, crypto has definitely seen. If you take a look in the month time frame, things don't look half bad, right? If you take a look at the week time frame, it might look a bit different right now. So Greystone, what other type of video game companies were you looking at, if I may ask? And Mohammed, I hope I answered your question on C Limited. What else do we have? Greystone, I was looking at video game stocks. We saw that David Becker, EGLX. How about that one? Let's take a quick look. I don't remember. I don't think I know this one. EGLX Stocks, Enthusiast Gaming Holding Company. This is a Canadian company, super small, right? David, are you in this one, David? This is a market cap of $703 million, so super small. First thing I want to say is, if it's this small, it's gonna be super volatile. And the stock price, we can see from its 52-week high, the stock price is down about 48.76%. One thing I do want to say though is, I want to say earlier on during this whole COVID situation, gaming stocks were probably super popular. After things were kind of opening back up, I do want to say they kind of pulled down a bit. I think the gaming market is still in early stages. I don't know what Theseus, whatever EGLX Gaming Holdings does, but if they are in the gaming department, I do want to say the gaming market is still in early stages. Gordon, buy Hero ETF. I do want to say Hero ETF is probably one of my favorite ETFs in the gaming market for sure. So Gordon, appreciate you guys you reminding me of that. It contains all these gaming stocks. Sometimes investors, right, don't mind individual plays. Like Activision, I want to say it's very interesting. Nintendo also. I want to say Nintendo has taken quite a hit recently, where I can see investors being very interested in it. But let's take a look at Enthusiast Gaming Holdings. It's a Canadian-based video game esports company. Let's see, EGLX, was it? EGLX. I don't know if Simply Wall Street is broken right now. It does seem like it's broken. Or, okay, maybe not. I fixed it. Another gaming stock. Future Growth. Let's take a look at Future Growth for this company. This is interesting. All right, so I'm definitely not in a Simply Wall Street type of mood today. I'm not sure what's happening here. Let me just refresh one more time. Freshing cookies at the same time. I don't think this is a stock that wants me to look at it. Martin, I have thought about Frontier Developments, another gaming stock. Man, what's going on here? Come on, Simply Wall Street. You can't be doing this to me. But let's take a look at Frontier. Here we go. So thank you. EGLX. This is one expected to grow 24.7% on average for the next 3 to 5 years. So it is a nice high growth stock. Unfortunately, the company is not profitable. They're not positive in earnings. So right off the bat, right, this is a very speculative play, still in early stages. Small company market cap, not positive in cash flow from operations, but they are expected to grow at crazy levels. A company like this, I want them to have no debt whatsoever. So right now they do have about $10 million in Canadian debt. That's actually pretty low. So I would kind of offset that. They have about $53 million in Canadian dollars of cash and short-term investments. So financially, they are in a great place. I do want to take a quick look at ownership. It does seem General publics owns a good portion. Individual insiders own 8.6. Private companies own 9.3. And let me zoom in for you guys. Institutions own 14.7. Let's take a quick look at their website. So Gamers Live Here, the world's largest platform of communities for gamers and esports fans. So they do seem to have different brands. They're more like a branding company, it seems. They have media companies. So they have numerous media companies that deal with gaming news and gaming entertainment, right? These are some of the players right here. I don't really follow too much gaming magazines. Like I said, I'm not a big player, so I don't follow it. I just more follow the trend of the investing gaming market. But here they have great plays from the gaming community for gaming entertainment and for gaming news. In the esports markets, they do own a few esports teams, which is pretty interesting. The Luminosity Gaming, they also own Vancouver Titans, and all these guys have some strong followings, right? We can see they have strong Twitch followers, they have strong Twitter followers, strong Instagram followers. So they do own some sports teams, which is pretty interesting for sure. And the experiential leaders in original content creation, and top tier production. So rising stars. So they are kind of focusing on content creators as well. So what's going on, Fizz? What's going on? Welcome back to the streaming life. You know, I've only been gone for 4 days, and you guys, 4 days is not that long, all right? But what's going on, Fizz? I hope you're doing good. I hope you're back at work. Unfortunately, you're back at work, but hopefully work is doing well. So Enthusiast Gaming, more of like a content creator platform. Not something I'm super interested in. They do own some esports teams. That's definitely interesting if some of those esports teams do really, really well. What's going on, Wall Street? Good morning, good morning. This can definitely be good. But this is I want to say, a very speculative play for sure. The other one, who was it, Martin? Another gaming stocks, Frontier Developments. I have not heard about them. Let's see, are they probably traded right now? Frontier. So Fizz, have you heard the news about C Limited? That is gonna be very interesting for sure. Fizz, I want to hear your thoughts about C Limited expanding into Poland. You might have missed it, but I'm actually not a huge fan of it. The first reason is I was kind of looking here in Google Play Store for Poland. This is actually the first expansion, I want to say, that C Limited does not have Free Fire exposure into, Fizz. So I don't understand how that's gonna do well. So C Limited expanding into Poland, Reuters kind of mentioned it. But if I take a look at Google Play, Poland, highest category in games grossing. Normally, even in overall, you would see Free Fire. C Limited is not there. So very interesting take. Consider shift my Nvidia position to C Limited. Bill Main, that is an interesting take. I don't know what I would say to that, right? Hello, mom. And then we can see, so consider shift my Nvidia position. That's interesting, right? I do believe Nvidia, in my opinion, if Nvidia ever dropped big, Nvidia, I can see it being like a 30%, 30% of my portfolio for sure. What's going on, Sergio? How's it going? I don't know if C Limited would be a 30%, could ever be a 30% of my portfolio. Just because you are too heavy on Nvidia, that's pretty interesting, right? Nvidia, I actually was thinking about this morning. I don't know why. I think while I was brushing my teeth, if Nvidia ever dropped crazy levels, I can see Nvidia being over 30% of my portfolio easily. I don't know if there's any other stocks right now I can say that right off the bat. But what's going on, guys? So is there any stocks you guys want to take a quick look at? C Limited is 30% of my portfolio. I second that. C Limited, nice. All right. So I would say C Limited could be 20% maybe if it took a huge dip. I don't know if I could do 30%. Definitely a strong one. But to me, like, Nvidia is definitely, and I don't know, I mean, just from the technological aspect, Nvidia can change, in my opinion, can change stuff. Can definitely change the world, right? C Limited, strong company for sure. I don't think it has life-changing products, right? It has cool products that will be strong. I mean, I think gaming is super, super strong. But the overall technological, I just can see it. And Microsoft dropped 30%. I will buy into Tier 1 Gordon for sure. I mean, Microsoft, some of these big players, sometimes people Your previous one got removed. I wonder why. I thought you left me on red, Fist, and you just left. Um, but yeah, pretty interesting that it kind of left you. Some of these big companies, I feel like people overlooked. We have Facebook. Facebook, in my opinion, can easily make it a tier one. We also have Facebook, Google, for example, another one that can really make it to some heavy levels if they drop strong. Facebook, Google, and Microsoft, I want to see are my top three big companies that if they would drop. What about Pum? Sergio, at the moment, Sergio, I don't think I have time. I do have prior arrangements right now, so I have to jet out, guys. I will be on tomorrow at same time. So see you guys. Thank you so much for the support. I'm back on it. I'll be here every single day streaming again. I was just on a quick vacation, took a few days off. But guys, thank you so much for the support. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure to watch the videos. I already posted a few videos last night and this morning, and we'll have some more on the way to kind of share the overall news. What's going on, Duck? Duck, I haven't seen you in some time. But thank you guys. See you tomorrow at same time. Bye, Jose. That is the same. Yeah, bye, Jose. Bye, Jose ETF. But guys, thank you again, Gordon. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Fizz. Everybody for the support. But take care, guys. And